right, hey, Shalom. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. I want to say peace, mercy, and blessings unto all of the hopeful elect. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists, or He is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer. We are the Hebrew Israelites, and there's 12 tribes. It's not about skin color. Today we're being called Black, African American, Colored, Native American, Seminole, Indian, Latin, Hispanic. We're those people that make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, the self-proclaimed white man, Caucasian, European, according to the Holy Bible. Their biblical nationality is Esau, Edom, the evil, wicked brother, twin brother of Jacob. All right, the story of Jacob and Esau, and Jacob's name was changed into Israel. All right, and according to Bible prophecy, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Okay, and this is Isaiah 14. All right, I'm going to be reading it from the Good News Translation. I pray that this is edifying. So as you can see, it says the return from exile. See, right now, the real Israelites are in exile. They're not in the land. All right. Now, of course, some of them are there because our people are scattered. All right, and a lot of our people went back to the Holy Land. Okay, but the majority of our people are not there, man. They're in exile. Right. The heathens are there. This is Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. The bastard that's dwelling there is the Edomites, namely Amalek. All right, that's who Benjamin Netanyahu, that's who they are. They're the seed of Amalek. They're the wicked. And the Most High say He would have war with them from generation to generation. That's why there's never going to be any peace over there. All right, this whole tension situation with Persia, Iran, and the Holy Land and the West, Babylon the Great, is going to continue to escalate. Okay, and they're going to push the RFID chip, that's the mark of the beast, on a worldwide scale. Shortly thereafter, the World War III will commence. Right? These are the last major prophecies that we're waiting to be poured out. Back in Isaiah 14, the Lord, right, in the real name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. That's very important. That means He exists, or He is to be. The name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, and that means He is the deliverer. Okay, not God or Jesus or, Yeshua or Yehoshua or Yahweh. None of those names. All right? The Lord will once again be merciful to His people, Israel, and choose them as His own. He will let them live in their own land again. So there's gonna be a great return from exile, and that's what we're fighting to be a part of. Lord willing, we have the hopeful elect. Because even if you're a martyr on this side, staying faithful to the Lord until the end, enduring the hardness, you're still gonna be part of the ones that's of the elect that's gonna make that return from exile, right? And foreigners will come and live there with them, right? And those are the Israelite foreigners. That's the foreigners it's talking about, right? Meaning the Israelites, that are, that may or may not be in America. They may be somewhere else, somewhere there's neutral to where the nukes are going to be shot, but they are of the seed of Israel. They're going to be gathered. They're going to be brought back to the land too, right? Many nations will help the people of Israel return to the land which the Lord gave them, Jerusalem. And there the nations will serve Israel as slaves, right? Those who once captured Israel will now be captured by Israel, and the people of Israel will rule over those who once oppressed them. That's what's coming, the rulership. Getting ready to rule over these people who are continue to oppress us until this day, right? And that's righteous judgment, according to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? This is Revelation 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Right? If the Most High opens you, your ears, your mind to this understanding, to hear this song, then, hey, that's a very good sign. Because a lot of people hear it and, they can't get it, They want to believe that everybody can be saved, that, there's not going to be slaves in the kingdom of heaven. The Lord ain't a black man. They say color don't matter. The mark of the beast ain't the RFID chip. All manner of wayward doctrines, all right? Cunningly devised fables, okay? 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's the order. That's the order the Most High set on the earth, right? If a nation leads someone to captivity, they have to go into captivity. That's judgment, right? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. That's our patience and our faith. We know that's coming, okay? Despite how it looks now, all right? That shit don't matter, okay? Because if you look at it, things are looking very good for the elect, all right? The stock of the elect are going to continue to go up just as the price of gold continues to rise. That's spiritual. Most I shall make a man more precious than fine gold, okay? This is Isaiah 14 and verse 3, the king of Babylon and the world of the dead. So you can link that up with DJT. And the king of Babylon is tripping. All right, he got drawn out. Okay. All right, this is from Reuters 2 hours ago. U.S. strikes failed to destroy Persia's nuclear sites, intelligence report said. So it was a failed attack, and they attacked three. I'll tell you right now. Okay, this is from CNN.com. Exclusive early U.S. intel assessment suggests strikes on Persia did not destroy nuclear sites, sources say. See? And through the spirit, you got to know that, hey, they probably been moved that shit. It's probably just a bluff, a decoy. It probably was never there to begin with, And now, since he have done it, have attacked Persia, that has drawn out the emotions. And other nations are putting their 2 cents in, and they're also getting involved, and they're also making very bold statements, such as, we will slide them some nukes. Okay, North Korea, Pakistan, India, Russia. There's several other nations that possess nukes, man. The U.S. military strikes on 3 of Persia's nuclear facilities last weekend did not destroy the core components of the country's nuclear program, and likely only set it back by months. Okay, so let's say they did set it back by months. They can just get it from a whole another nation who is now are going to ally themselves with them because they're realizing they have a common enemy. Okay, but we see. This is from DJT. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Persia, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Persian airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site. Fordow, all planes are now safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great Babylonian warriors. There's not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So you have to understand, okay, they have been drawn out. And it was only a matter of time because, Benjamin Netanyahu, he's been harping on Persia enriching uranium for decades, okay? Netanyahu's decades-long warning, all right, Iran's nuclear program began in the 1950s, right? Check this out. This is from Al Jazeera News, all right? Blanks, Netanyahu has warned of an imminent threat from an Iranian nuclear bomb for more than 30, that's over 3 decades, man. He's been warning. Okay? He's been warning for this for over 3 decades, and so it was only a matter of time before they get drawn out. Okay? This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45. Therefore he, the counsel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he proposed against the land of the Chaldeans, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So when he did that move, that attack, all right, is them being drawn out. All right, when the West attacked those 3 sites, they got involved. That's them being drawn out. Who were they drawn out by? This guy. Okay, but that's all according to the counsel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to get all the world's army. All right, eventually they're going to be gathered up to that place, okay, to be destroyed in World War III. All right, that he had proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Now here's the thing, all right, both those nations, all right, the Holy Land is going to get hit with nukes, and the West, Babylon the Great. The difference is Babylon the Great is never going to be inhabited again. The West is going to be rebuilt back up, all right? It's going to be a very beautiful sight to see, man, But the West is never going to be inhabited again, and it's going to be rebuilt back up by our slaves. So now you understand, verse 2, I read it again. Many nations will help the people of Israel return to the land which the Lord gave them, and there the nation will serve Israel as slaves. So their job is going to be to clean up the mess they made with the nuclear destruction, all of the bodies from the third woe, and just rebuilding our kingdom back up, all right, how we wanted to be built up. Let me see, I believe that's Tobit. Is it Tobit 12 or maybe Tobit 14? Oh, maybe Tobit 14. Maybe 13. This is Tobit, Book of Tobit, chapter 13, right, and verse 15. For Jerusalem shall be built up with sapphires and emeralds and precious stone. Thy walls and towers and battlements were pure gold. And the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved with beryl and carbuncle and stones of Ophir. And all the streets shall say Alleluia. All right, which means all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And they shall praise him, saying, Blessed be Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, which extolled it forever. Right? So this is part of the gospel, the good news. Right? This is what we have coming to us, man. This is not the end all be all. All right? The things that are going on in the world mark the end of our captivity, the end of our punishment, and the beginning of Esau, a changing of places. Okay? Isaiah 14:3. The king of Babylon and the world of the dead, the Lord will give the people of Israel relief from their pain and suffering and from the hard work they were forced to do. Yeah, you're working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. You gotta, live in a house that's falling apart if you can afford a home. So a lot of our people are homeless, they're derelicts, single family households, diseases, okay, under the curses, man, subject to payments, all right? When he does this, they are to mock the king of Babylon and say, the cruel king has fallen. That's the cruel Lord, okay? They're getting ready to fall. He will never oppress anyone again, right? So when we get in the kingdom, it's not going to be a time to where they get free and try to attack. That's it, right? The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai has ended the power of evil rulers who angrily oppressed the peoples and never stopped persecuting the nations they had conquered. And that's what you know. That's what's on their mind. All right. Who it says who angrily oppressed. That's how they handle Israelites. Okay. Four days ago, it's from a site called Black Enterprise, which we're not black. That is a byword, a proverb. That's a false nationality that has been given unto us. What Jake will call a here nigga damn. That's what that black is. That's not a culture. That's not who we are. We're Israelites. And a lot of us don't call people just because you have dark skin. That don't. You could be from any one of the 12 tribes. It says black man found hanging from tree, ruled suicide by Albany police, but residents undoubtful. The unidentified man, 58, was discovered on Wednesday, June 18th, and this is 2025. So they're still hanging. They're still oppressing. All right. I'll read this again. This is Isaiah 14. And let me see. Where was I? Right, verse 6. It's Isaiah 14:6. It says, who angrily oppressed the peoples and never stopped persecuting the nations they had conquered. Now at the last, the whole world enjoys rest and peace, and everyone sings for joy. So this is going to be the reaction when the West and Esau finally goes down and they're finally put in slavery, and Yahweh Shai is ruling the earth with his elect. Read that again. Now at the last, the whole world enjoys rest and peace, and everyone sings for joy, right? Because under his rulership, the whole earth is suffering. He's literally just destroying the earth, It's Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. Okay, and that reward is rulership over the nations. Okay. And to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. It's Isaiah 14 and verse 8. The cypress trees and the cedars of Lebanon rejoice over the fallen king, because there is no one to cut them down now that he is gone. So that's twofold, because men are likened, nations likened unto trees, and he's destroying. The main nation he's destroying is the Israelites, but he's destroying and oppressing other nations too. It's just that with the Israelites, you touch the apple of the Most High's eye, so you really fucked up. 9, the world of the dead is getting ready to welcome the king of Babylon, right? And that's the other nations, they're the dead, right? The ghosts of those who are powerful on earth are stirring about. The ghosts of the kings are rising from their thrones. They call out to him, now you are weak as we. And you know what leveled the playing field? Nuclear weaponry. Okay? But none of that technology and weapon, none of that's just going to matter when the Lord gets spiritual power. It says, you are one of us. You used to be honored with the music of harps, but now, right? And they don't say that the daughters of music shall be brought low, national anthem and all that, right? But now you're in the world of the dead. You lie in the bed of maggots and are covered with a blanket of worms. Okay? 12, the king of Babylon, bright morning star. You have fallen from heaven, rulership. He's getting ready to fall out of rulership. And there's a saying, bigger they are, the harder they fall, and this place is going to fall very hard. It's going to be televised all throughout the planet. And the name Yahweh Shem El Shai is going to be magnified, right? In the past, you conquered nations, but now you've been thrown to the ground, right? You, exactly, all right? I'll read that again. In the past, you have conquered nations, but now you are thrown to the ground, right? All that pride. You were determined to climb up to heaven and place your throne above the highest stars. You thought you would sit like a king on that mountain in the north where the gods assemble. He has a God complex, right? He took our land, parted it, put us in slavery, took our nationality, heritage, gave us a false identity, all right? Totally exploited our people through the music industry, prisons, porn industry, media, everywhere you could think of, man, right? You said you would climb to the tops of the clouds. You would be like the Almighty. They have a space force, all the satellites, things of that nature, right? But instead, you have been brought down to the deepest part of the world of the dead, right? You're going to be brought very, very low, okay? Your nation is going to be the only nation that the Most High is going to allow to get exterminated, man, right? The nation of Esau, right? And let's prove that. You know, it says prove all things. This is Obadiah. Wait, not. It's Obadiah 1 verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. All right? And that's the kingdom coming back together. And that's when the Most High put his anger upon us and that spiritual power, right? And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Because Most High is mad every day, okay? This is Psalm 7 and verse 11. The Most High judges the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. Okay? That anger is going to be put on the Israelites, starting with the elect, right? The Obadiah 1:18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. For Yahweh by Shem Yahushai has spoken it. So that's the part of the good news, right? No more Esau, right? And if we read down and say he's not going to fill the world with cities, right? Isaiah 14 and 16, Good News Translation. The dead will stare and gape at you. They will ask, is this the man who shook the earth and made kingdoms tremble? And how did he do that? With his Air Force, dropping bombs, nukes, right? But when he's brought low, they're going to be astonished at him. They're like, is this the guy, right? Is this the man who destroyed cities and turned the whole world into a desert? Is this the man who never freed his prisoners or let them go home? The Israelites. He's never plans to free us or give us our land back, man. You know? But with that, I'm going to have to end it. Lord willing, I'll do part 2 with the rest of the scriptures. All right? I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I pray this was edifying. Shalom.